Greetings, I'm Zorch, and today I'm going to be taking a look at Escape Room the game. And I'm warning you right now, there's a lot of spoilers in this because I had a bit of an issue with the first scenario, and I figured this would be a good place to go over it and help out if anybody else seems to have an issue with the Chrono Decoder. But more on that in a bit. This is also going to be a little bit of an unboxing, so if you want to, you can see what all is inside of the box. I picked this up at the thrift store for 12 bucks, so it was a pretty good deal, I would say. I know for a fact, I work at an escape room, and I know how they work generally. They tend to be one-shot deals, so I know enough now about the first one, Prison Break, to kind of spoil it for myself, but I'm hoping to sort of fix a problem that... well, we'll see. First of all, let's do the unboxing. Open her up here. You can see what all is inside. It actually comes with quite a bit of interesting stuff. It's got this guy here. This is called the Chrono Decoder. This has a problem with it. We will come back to that shortly. Also inside of the box are a bunch of keys that go inside the Chrono Decoder, as well as packages for each scenario. This box comes with 4 scenarios, and I am not going to talk about any of them except for Prison Break, which is the first one. So I'm going to get rid of all this extra stuff, get it out of the way. This is the rules. It's pretty simple. And okay, so here we've got the scenario pack for Part 1, Prison Break. So, like I said, each one of these can only be done once, so I am now going to open this up, and I'm going to kind of spoil things a little bit. So when I picked this up, the only thing that was really wrong with it on an outside cursory examination was that this was missing from the back of the box, and from what I understand, that's not a problem, that it shouldn't affect anything else inside of the game. So let's take a look inside of Prison Break. This is the first scenario inside of the game, and the way that these scenarios work is that you have one pack. It has a thing here that says, "Do not open before you have read the story on the envelope out loud." So you would read the story here, and then you would open this package up and you dump out the contents, which I'm about to do. And the contents are actually listed right here, so you know if you're missing anything or not right away. So I'm going to dump this out. I am not going to go too far into the scenario, so I will not show you some of the later stuff. That's actually part of the game. I will leave those aside. These are all part. So here we got the. This is the hint decoder. You get these hint cards, and you have access to one every 5 minutes. And you put them inside of this red cellophane here, and that reveals one of your clues every 5 minutes in case you need it. Again, more on that later. This is a separate deck for each scenario. Then it comes with these 4 bits of puzzles. At a cursory glance, whenever I opened up the box first, just to make sure that everything was there. But unfortunately, they had all been marked on by the previous user, so there were things that had been written in and circled, and basically kind of spoiled a little bit for the first scenario. So I'm going to actually print out new ones of these and put them inside the box, even though I don't know if we'll ever play the first scenario again, but, you know, if I ever do it with somebody else, who knows, maybe. That's not the problem, though. We got to the first set of clues. Each scenario, I think, has 3 combinations of keys that you put in, a certain number of combinations of keys that you put in. If you get the wrong combination of keys in here, the timer gives you a beep, and it advances by a minute, so you lose a minute as a penalty. However, if you have the right combination, it should give you a chime, and you should be able to go on to the next part of the puzzle. Our problem was, we had the correct number of keys in here, and we still got the wrong signal every time. So it would beep at us and tell us that we were wrong, even though we were right. And for all of you who are saying, well, maybe you weren't right, I know for a fact I'm right because, and I'm going to really spoil things now, if you get to the end of Part 1, I want, see, these are all Part 2, Part 3, I'm not going to look at these. Part 1, Hint 1, Hint 2, Hint 3. Hint 3 contains the combination that you're supposed to put in here. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to take the take the card, and I'm going to put it into the little slot here. And then it's probably difficult to read, but it says enter code 6251, which means that you have to find the corresponding keys out of here. And I will do that in a second here. Okay, in the interim there, I put some fresh batteries inside of the Chrono Decoder. It takes 3 AA's, and I want to make sure that these are fresh. So you can turn it on, and then whenever you start, you hit the button, and it starts counting down. So these are the correct keys, 6251, as it says on the thing, and we actually came to this same conclusion independently of actually having the clues after a lot of arguing and stuff. So if you put these in correctly, 6, 2, 5, and 1. See, I haven't even gotten the fourth one in, and it's already giving us a incorrect code. That was a real downer for the game. So at first we just thought we were doing something wrong, but then we went to the second part, and it did the same thing again. We got the code, we put the keys in, it gave us a wrong indication every time. So I'm going to open this guy up and see if I can't take a look at what's going on inside and figure out what's wrong with it. Okay, let's see what we got here. Not much that can go wrong here, but looking inside here, it's going to be a bit of a challenge to figure out because I don't know what's going on at all. I guess the first thing to do is to just check connections to see if everything is appropriately connected. I see something here that is definitely not connected. There's a brown wire here that is definitely not connected to this little tiny point there. Cursory examination shows that everything else seems to be fine. But yeah, I think this is definitely broken off. So I'm going to see what I can do about repairing that. There we got a little bit better lighting now. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out this little screw here, and I'm going to try to take a better look at the board. I don't want to mess with it too much because apparently this is not particularly sturdily constructed, so I don't want to break something else while I'm messing around in here. So this board here was held in by that one screw, and it may have been glued into place. I see that the way these works is that there's 3 little metal prongs that detect whether or not something is basically interrupting the circuit. So I can show you actually if I slide in a key here and you look on this, you're going to see these little metal prongs lift up, zoop, like that. So a little insight into how this thing works here. I've changed things around a little bit with the lighting, and first time using my macro lens to do video. So as you can see, the little contact is that little piece of brown right there. I'm going to see if I can't use my crappy old soldering iron to actually get that back into place again. This would be a heck of a lot easier if the camera wasn't here. I'm not going to lie. I hate to... Hey, there we go. I got it. Now we're talking. Not sure if you can see the success there, but I've basically turned this into a giant game of operation by having the camera here, but that's okay, because I'm sure somebody will find this, my struggling, supremely entertaining. Okay, as you can see, I've shifted things around a little bit. Hopefully from this angle, I will not have quite as many problems getting the solder into the hole. Now, I don't know. I think that's sitting on top of whatever it is, the resin coating. So if I touch it, I think it's good enough to test. So let's give it a shot. Alright, the lid is not quite on there perfectly yet, but this is good enough for a test. I got my batteries back inside. I'm going to flip it on. Hey, we've got power. That's one step in the right direction. So now I'm going to try this code again. So 6, 2, 5, 1. Yay! Hey, I fixed it. Hooray! And I will probably play through the first scenario again because we did not get all the way through. We got basically halfway into the second one before we sort of realized that things were going wrong. But I'll give it another shot, and hopefully it'll work out. Thanks for watching.